Is it exhausting being a narcissist? It is a repeated comment when people read or listen to my material that they comment, "Whew, that must be exhausting," or "It must really be exhausting being a narcissist." But is it? To you, the life that we lead does look exhausting. We must always be asserting control. We must always be seeking fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. The necessity of control is unending. Second by second it exists. Imagine a series of ribbons, all of 1 second each. In each second we must have control. As soon as the initial second ends, then control starts. The necessity of control continues. Of course, there are instances where we are able to maintain control through many of these seconds, thousands upon them, hundreds of thousands of them. But that doesn't remove the necessity that each and every second control must be sought, must be asserted, and any threat to control must be resisted. To you, that sounds like a state of hypervigilance, of always being ready for action. I understand that. We need fuel. We don't need it every moment of every day, because when we're well fueled, we're good to go for quite a considerable period of time. And in some instances, a well-fueled narcissist could go without fuel for a number of days. But invariably, to avoid the restlessness, the disquiet, and the descent towards that sense of doom and impending oblivion, the narcissist does well to ensure that fuel is obtained each and every day. There is an ongoing battle between the assertion of control, the threat to control, the effect of wounding, draining our fuel reserves, and the gathering of that fuel, so that the chart of the fuel ebbs and flows, peaks and troughs of varying degrees, dependent upon the efficiency of the relevant narcissist, the efficacy of their fuel matrix, the behaviour of those within it. Again, this ceaseless pursuit of fuel, the unending hunger for a resource that is in plentiful supply, but still always has to be obtained through the application of both benign and malign manipulations, will indeed sound exhausting to you. The fact that we are never content, that we never truly rest on our laurels, that there are no moments of relaxation, again, to you, the empathic victim, sounds eminently exhausting. Of course, narcissists grow tired. We're human beings. We become physically exhausted where we engage in particular physical endeavours. We can experience mental tiredness of consequence of concentration, but that's no different from you. And in effect, those behaviours are not particularly different from yours. No, instead, your queries relate to the fact of being a narcissist. Is that exhausting? Because it sounds like it. It seems exhausting to always have control, to always be asserting control, to always be rejecting perceived threats to that control, to always be seeking fuel, to be obtaining gratification, admiration, approval, love, support, praise, hatred, antipathy, annoyance, upset, irritation, jealousy, envy. All of those things are manifestations of fuel. And that you seem that is exhausting, because we seem like a relentless machine in the pursuit of the two most important aspects of the prime aims, control and fuel. But actually, although it seems exhausting to you from your perspective, it isn't for us. Do not be fooled by the narcissist who might say, "It's hard work being me," pity play, or "I find it all so exhausting," pity play. Those individuals are only saying that because their narcissism has decreed that it is appropriate to use that manipulation towards you for the purpose of asserting control and fuel, and it is not an actual genuine representation of how the narcissist actually feels. The way that we are is not exhausting. There may be challenges, and some days may be more difficult than others with regard to the garnering of fuel and the assertion of control, but ultimately it is not exhausting. Why? This is how we are designed to be. Does your car tell you that it is exhausted as a consequence of the various journeys that it undertakes? No, it does not. Why? Because it's designed to drive upon the roads without complaint. Are you exhausted from breathing? Are you exhausted from your heart beating? Are you exhausted from regulating your body temperature? Are you exhausted from the gastric juices breaking down whatever it is that you've eaten and sits in your stomach? No. Why? Because these are all things that go on in the background, regulated by a section of your brain as part of your life support system. You might find it tiring if you were having to say to yourself, breathe in, breathe out. If you would find it exhausting if you were having to think consciously about regulating your body temperature to cause your heart to beat. Many of the things that you do are instinctive, and you do so without thinking, that they occur in your subconscious, and they're all part of ensuring that you thrive and survive. We are similar. Our narcissism operates as a life support system running in the background. For lesser and mid-range narcissists, they don't know it's there. It serves a function, it defends them, and guides everything that they do with regard to their interactions with other human beings and their thoughts about their interactions with those human beings. With the greater and the ultra, it is similar, although it provides us with options which we consciously select from. It is, if you like, a form of exoskeleton bolted onto us when we are the greater and the ultra. But none of it is exhausting because it's part of who we are and how we've been designed to operate. In the same way that your life support systems function in the background and don't exhaust you, because largely you don't consciously think about them occurring. But you know that they're there. But that doesn't exhaust you. For most narcissists, they don't even know that it's there. And it operates. That machine humming away in the background, causing the narcissist to behave in a particular way. But it isn't exhausting, because this is what we are. This is the way that we are designed. Yes, the narcissist may face trials and tribulations as a consequence of wounding, but that doesn't cause exhaustion. It results in alternative feelings arising as a consequence of the threat to the control and the reduction in fuel levels. The narcissist may become listless, may become languid, not because he finds the whole exercise exhausting, but that his energy levels are reduced as a consequence of the reduced fuel levels. Fuel powers your car. If there is no gas, no petrol in your car, it will eventually roll to a halt. Same for the narcissist. But the car isn't exhausted. It's run out of the energy that it needs to operate on. Ditto, the same for the narcissist. Accordingly, it appears to you that life as a narcissist is exhausting because you can't comprehend having to put yourself in a position of asserting control over everything that you interact with, where it involves a person. You can't comprehend that you'd have to pursue fuel each and every day and become so reliant on the reactions of other people. It understandably feels exhausting to you, sounds exhausting to you, appears exhausting to you. I get that. I understand your perspective. But rest assured, it isn't exhausting to us. It is the way that we must be. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.